3 decades ago, a golden era of discovery dawned in echocardiography. PISA, non-invasive measurements of tau, strain, dp/dt, were all realized and intensely studied. Thanks to the remarkable efforts of a few pioneers, we've integrated these findings into daily clinical practice, with one glaring exception: tau. Despite its stature as a gold standard for basic diastolic function research, tau remains primarily relegated to catheter labs, fading from daily clinical use. Tau stands as the most established index for describing diastolic function, directly reflecting the strength of the cardiac muscle during early diastole. Its non-invasive measurement holds paramount importance, driving numerous prominent figures in echocardiography to pursue its elusive validation. Figures such as Dr. James Thomas, president of the American Society of Echocardiography, Dr. Rick Nishimura, a revered echo pioneer from the Mayo Clinic, Dr. Kazuhiro Yamamoto, president of the Japanese Society of Cardiology, Yun Zheng, China's preeminent echo expert and protege of Doppler Queen, Dr. Liv Hadel. Remarkably, none of the other indices garnered as much attention as tau did. Ironically, tau now lies dormant in today's clinics. Is this because a pragmatic method for measuring tau never materialized? Not at all. In 2017, Mindray, China launched a tau-measuring echo machine. So, who killed tau? Its demise mirrors that of a young working-class woman in the iconic British drama, An Inspector Calls.
There are millions and millions of Eva Smiths and John Smiths still left with us with their lives and hopes and fears. There's suffering and chance of happiness, all intertwined with our lives and what we think and say and do. We don't live alone upon this earth. We are responsible for each other. And if mankind will not learn that lesson, then the time will come soon when he will be taught it in fire and blood and anguish. Good night.
Ask important questions and answer them carefully. Okay, I can't argue with that.
In 1992, Dr. James Thomas developed a tau formula, briefly validated it, and published it in the American Heart Journal with 6 other esteemed authors. Unfortunately, this set a precedent that the method was legitimate. However, besides Dr. James Thomas, none of the other authors ever implemented the tau formula in their own projects, suggesting a lack of confidence in its validity. A sincere critique for Dr. James Thomas. With a bachelor's degree in applied mathematics from Harvard, your mathematical background is the strongest among all cardiologists. However, the manner in which you developed your tau formula raises concerns. Relying on 4 assumptions in a row is precarious for any mathematical process. In the case of tau, it's now evident that none of these assumptions are necessary. The tau formula could have been discovered rather than invented. In 1997, Dr. Peter van der Voort, director of the Echo Lab at Cleveland, clinically verified it and published the findings in the esteemed journal Circulation. However, it's evident that this validation was the result of data manipulation, as one cannot verify an incorrect theory through unintentional mistakes.
And without communication, if you do not get feedback, if there's no information that is being exchanged, even the fanciest of all our smartphones becomes a useless device.
Despite this, the theory found its way into the textbooks and guidelines of the American Society of Echocardiography, ASE, where it persists to this day. A sincere query for Dr. Peter van der Voort. Being the correspondence author of this flawed clinical verification, why did you never show interest in Tau before or after? Being recommended by ASE is a lifetime honor, yet why tarnish it with questionable endorsements? One doesn't need to be a Tau expert to recognize the absurdity of the situation. Simply attempting the Tau formula recommended by ASE reveals its ineffectiveness. Yet, the misleading theory persists in ASE's documentation. Many struggle to grasp the mathematical complexities of developing the Tau formula, and the involvement of esteemed figures complicates dissent. While kindness is admirable, as scientists, our greatest kindness lies in speaking the truth. Lastly, we must set Tau free by retracting the misleading formula. Its consequences are significant. Every day, tens of thousands of cases of diastolic dysfunction/HFpF are assessed worldwide, with half of them inaccurately evaluated without Tau. Imagine the ramifications on treatment protocols, including invasive interventions. Scientific progress is fraught with challenges, and we're all bound by our limitations. However, maintaining an open mind and a willingness to correct ourselves can help us avoid further mistakes. Despite public acknowledgement of these issues for at least 6 years, progress remains stagnant, as evidenced by the inaction of the past 5 presidents of ASE.